I'm Esra.
And I'm Damla.
And welcome to AVZ TechLab.
Here we show you interesting software innovations.
As some of you will notice, is that today's video is a little bit different than we normally do. This is because we have a new intern.
That is me. As I don't speak Dutch, we're going to be doing a trial with an English video today.
We'll be talking about active learning in this video, which is a machine learning technique that aims to reduce the number of label samples needed to effectively train a classifier.
But first, a drink. Today we'll be trying the Kerel Says It All Grapefruit IPA.
That sounds delightful. Cheers.
Cheers.
So, on a scale of 1 to 5, what would you rate the beer?
Mine is a bit foamy, but I would rate it like 4.4? Just 4.
I would probably rate it about a 3.75.
Precise. I like it. You may have noticed that recently we have been very active in researching AI and machine learning techniques. Specifically, we have been very active in natural language processing.
So you know that annotating data for a natural language processing model is a very time-consuming job. So we're always looking for techniques that will reduce the number of samples that we need to label. That's why we figured looking into active learning might produce some interesting results.
And does it?
Let me show you. So active learning consists of 3 components: the initialization strategy, the query strategy, and an early stopping criteria. The latter we won't really be going into today.
And what is the data set that we will be using today?
The data set that we'll be using today is a data set that I found on Kaggle that is for music classification. Basically, we have a set of lyrics and a label, aka the genre that they belong to. It is a binary set. The lyrics can either belong to a rap song or a pop song.
How do all these 3 components come together in this code?
Yeah, so we're not paying any attention to the stopping criteria. So we start by pre-processing the data, which will look very similar to any pre-processing of other natural language applications. And we have an initialization method, which will surprise you, initializes the model. In this case, we picked for a random initialization strategy. That means that we pick some random samples from each genre and use these to initialize the model. Then we go into the querying strategy, which is, I think, the biggest focus of today. There's many that will determine how your model queries a teacher.
And what is a teacher?
So a teacher can either be a user or some other information source that can label the data for the model. So the model basically selects, based on the query strategy, what samples will be most informative for the model to have labeled, and it will present these to the teacher, have them labeled, and then update the model accordingly. This is an iterative process, so we also evaluate the model every iteration, which will give us an accuracy, and then we can see how different models compare against each other.
So in a way, we're not in charge.
In a way, we're not in charge. The model picks itself based on the query strategy what samples should be labeled. Mm-hmm. So I did 4 sampling strategies. The random sampling, which doesn't look at the informativeness of samples. Least confidence sampling, which will pick the samples that it has least confidence in. Entropy sampling, which will pick the samples that have the highest entropy. And discriminative active learning, which basically tries to make the unlabeled pool and the labeled pool indistinguishable from each other. And we can see that by using less than half of the data, we already get a significant classifier that can predict above guessing. Mm-hmm. It evens out between like 75% to 80%, which I think is not bad for less than half of the data used.
Yeah. What would be a pitfall of active learning, if there is any?
So a pitfall of active learning could be that if you pick a poor querying strategy, that your model will get flooded with samples that are uninformative, and it will therefore not improve in accuracy at all.
If you want to learn more about how we implemented this and see the full code, don't forget to check out the blog on active learning. You can find the link in the description.
Also, don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to see more of our videos.
Yeah. And let us know in the comments what topics you would like to see next, and we will read them.